Detective Inspector Cat Donovan.
My mum's missing. You're the only one that can find her. You're the only one that can find her. You're the only one that can find her.
Thought he left because of my dad's murder.
You'll never know the truth.
Detective Inspector Cat Donovan.
You're the only one that can find her.
Detective Inspector Cat Donovan.
You tried something new. What about that app I signed you up with?
Detective Inspector Cat Donovan.
My mum's missing. You're the only one that can find her. You're the only one that can find her. You're the only one that can find her.
Thought he left because of my dad's murder.
You'll never know the truth.
Detective Inspector Cat Donovan.
You're the only one that can find her.
Detective Inspector Cat Donovan.
Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. And welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related. And y'all know I'm here to put you on, but I'm not here to put you on by myself. We are back today to talk Harlan Coben's Missing You, a 5-part limited series that premiered on New Year's Day on Netflix. One of 9 properties that he has over there. We're here to kind of talk about it. You know, it was woman-centered, it's Black-centered. I was like, let's go on and talk about it. And of course, the ladies agreed. Let's bring them up. And let's just hear from them, okay? First, we have Tyra over at Struggle Reviews TV. Tyra, how are you? Happy Tuesday. How has your day been?
It's Tuesday. My day has been pretty awesome, and happy Tuesday, girl. The kids went to. It is Tuesday because the kids went back to school. Yes, Lord, it's Tuesday. Yes, lovely Tuesday, quiet Tuesday.
Not them kids went back to school. And last but not least, we have EJ, the TV junkie. EJ, how are you? And happy Tuesday. How has it been today, friend? How's it been?
It's good. It's been a long day though, but it is definitely, we here now, and that's all that matters.
We are here, and the people are coming in slowly but surely as well. Good evening, Tony T. Happy Tuesday. Glad to see you here. Hey, pretty girl Danny in the building as usual. Nika Shava. Hey, girl. Hey, VN. You made it alive, and I saw the comment on my upload. Thank you for checking it out. I appreciate you very much. Bookworm 57. How are you, friend? Hey, Ashley. Unexpectedly, I binged watched this show. Then you right on time. See, Kismet. That's what I feel like it is. On the I-10 by 10, by happenstance. And I love that for us. Hey, Darfalina. Hey, friend, good to see you. Hey, Shannon D. Hey, Jester. Hey, Anakin, not Vader. I think I did all housekeeping, said our hellos to everyone. So without further ado, we finna get into it. We are about to get into these people. Missing You. Nothing burns like an old flame. I just want to start out by saying they catfished me just like they were catfishing people in this show. Because when you give me two melanated peoples from the UK, you give me a top boy bruv, and then you give me old girl from Slow Horses on Apple TV, I'm thinking we're going to be cooking with grease, right? It was nothing that I thought. It was nothing of the sort over here that I thought it was going to be. But Tyra, I'm going to start with you because, you're fun to start with. You know what I mean? And I want to know from you, What were your overall thoughts? Well, first of all, did you have any preconceived notions going into this series? And then what were your overall thoughts after finishing?
I mean, I knew we were getting into a mystery setting, but I did think that this duo as a couple, I thought we would see a whole lot more of Bruv, a lot more of Ashley, from Top Boy. I thought he would be more present. They do it to us every time, but it was more so something totally different, and I wasn't mad at it. We always love a good thriller mystery situation. I will say that the premise of the show and the pacing, um, at times it felt like, a cute little maybe 2-hour movie that we tried to stretch out, you know what I mean? To a 5 episodic type of thing. But what kept me going was just wanting to know what was what, who was lying, and why were they all lying? Like the premise kept me going, even though there were some issues with the pacing to where I was like, if y'all don't come on. But yeah, even though she's maybe one of the worst detectives I've seen on TV in a while.
Girl.
Girl, shake it slow, girl, shake it slow. But other than that, I was here for it, and I was, here for the ride all the way down to it. And then who's gonna be mad at 5 episodes? Like, you can't be mad at 5 episodes. It was like it was just enough. I love how like the pacing is crazy, but once we got to episode 5 and we got all of our answers and got to the end, it felt so complete. Like, well, I don't need to know anything else after that. I didn't feel like, really, 5 episodes? That's it? I was like, no, that's enough.
Cause same. I was like, okay, and put a little bow on it and let's close it out, Harlan. I like that. EJ, I know you were the first to watch it and you were like, have y'all watched it yet? Have y'all watched it yet? So I want to know from you, what were your overall thoughts after finishing?
I loved it. I really, really enjoyed this. I love a good mystery, and I love a good. I'm a sucker for somebody who's in love because I just love love, and so that part of it was like, oh, okay, I love this for her. But I mean, she was a little slow at times when it came to the detective side of it. She wasn't quite figuring things out when she needed to figure things out. But I did. I was in. I stayed in it. I really, in truth, honest moment, I really was gonna watch 2 episodes and come back and watch the rest of this later. That was the. I was like, I'm gonna watch these two. Then I'm, because I knew we had our live later, so I was like, I'll watch the rest of it later. That way, it'll be fresh, right? But I wanted to get started. Child, I couldn't walk away from it. I needed to know how her story ended and where it was gonna go. And I was like, I guess that means it must have been good. I couldn't get up and walk away. I had plans. Okay. So, but overall, like I thought it was intriguing for those who watched it, of course. I didn't have a lot of complaints about it, to be fair. I didn't have a whole lot of complaints about it. In the middle, we did get kind of like, but then I feel like it just came right back up for me for certain parts of it. So I was in it. I was in it to the end. I sat right there on the sofa, and I usually don't sit on the sofa and watch TV, y'all. Fun fact. I don't.
Yeah, overall thoughts. I think overall, this is what I think about when I want a mystery or thriller, but the lulls got to me. Like those dips, those dips where I was like, damn it, I'm mad that you got me locked in, right? Because they framed the first episode and you're like, okay, we got a bunch of stuff going on. And then it's like, and then like, okay, we're coming back. Don't play games with me, Harlan and them over there. Don't do that. Dane, what's up, bro? Listen, he says, thanks so much for the $2 super chat. He says, salute, bruvettes, bruv.
Bruh.
I
Yeah.
ain't watched this show, sir. We're glad you're here anyway. We're glad you're here anyway, Dane. And we always appreciate a good old super chat. We're never gonna be mad at this. So as I was talking about before, this is a Harlan Coben property, baby. He already has 9 pictures with Netflix right now to this day. And he's very prolific. If you go down the list, he's got a lot of properties that haven't even been touched yet that are soon to be adapted for television. I think he's found a sweet spot in this mystery space. There's not really anybody competing with him in this type of way. He's even got some YA properties over on Prime, which I thought was really good. Shelter is over there. But I think of all of these 9, I've only seen Fool Me Once, which came out New Year's 2024, and then Missing You. EJ, have you seen any of his other properties on Netflix? Any of these, Safe or Gone for Good or The Woods, Stay Close, any of those?
I saw Fool Me Once, which I really enjoyed. I like that one. That's it
And
though. Nothing else.
Fool Me Once pissed me off, EJ. I was going into this like, Harlan, don't do it.
I liked it.
Tyra, what about you? Have you seen any of Harlan's properties?
Ashley, you know what I watch on Netflix.
I'm
I
watching
mean, when he
for-
pop out with a K drama or situation, I might see it. This don't show up. I'm like, this is on there because they give you based on your recommendations and what you watch already. I'm like, I didn't even know any of these things existed. I've never seen.
I didn't know the rest of this.
Since I watched Missing You, since I watched Missing You, maybe now the other things will pop up.
Girl, she said, sorry to this man. I've never seen him before in my life. Never heard of him. But he's actually from Newark, New Jersey. Like I said, very prolific. This book actually came out originally in 2014. And so I was like, okay, Harlan, I'm here for that. And we'll get into some other stuff as it relates to this specific one. But I wanted to talk the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? I didn't put nothing ugly here, but I know Tyra's got something ugly she want to put up here, I'm sure. But the good, I love the twist in the last 2 episodes. Again, this is top tier mystery, right? When you give us 1,000 red herrings and nothing is equating to what the end gonna be, I'm here for that. It was unconventional. I think that it was kind of bold, the ending that it had. It was completely unexpected for me. I was here for representation, right? I'm here for all of these melanated people over in the UK that we here in the States don't really get to see that often. So here for that. And I do believe it was a true mystery. The bad, there were some plot holes. There were some undeveloped storylines, right? Like I thought that in Titus, our grifter, kind of con artist in the middle, I thought he had potential to be an excellent villain. And I feel like it was wrapped up really quickly. I felt like we could have gone more in depth with that. And I don't believe Kat is a detective most of the time. I didn't believe Kat as a detective in the first scene, if I can be honest with you. And again, I was missing motivation. And to me, there were too many red herrings. Like, I get it, give us a diversion here and there. But when you give us 4 or 5 diversions, like, I was looking at everybody sideways. Tyra, talk to me. The good, the bad, the ugly.
See, and I don't even have no ugly. I don't. You got all my uglies. They in the bad. They're in the bad. Like you said. Like I really I will say it took some time for me to get into it. Like I felt like it was like revving an engine up. I was like, all right, come on. Then by the time we got to episode 2, I think that the decline happens like later in episode 2, leading into 3, and then 4 and 5. It's like, all right, now we're cooking. I don't like anything where I feel like the premise is stretched out to be an episode of anything. Like sometimes you might need a cute movie, just a cute little movie. I don't know if I just so much mind all of the red herrings, because baby, it was a lot. I was like, so everybody's diabolical is what you're saying. Is it a cult? Is everybody lying? Like it was, I needed a little bit more subtlety at times because everybody was doing everything but damn near like moo ha ha into the camera. I was like, come on now, y'all. I see it, but I don't want to see it that much, because it almost felt like I was like, what is everybody in on the joke except for her? Like everybody had, but I was like, okay, in the end, I was like, okay, everybody had their own individual secrets, well, some that they were keeping from her that made it look like everybody was in on something that she wasn't, or that this was the crying game. I don't know what was happening, but it was a lot. Yeah, the plot holes, I mean, I don't know why, because we had time. I really wish that with the caliber of detective that Kat is supposed to be, that we really leaned into it and made her a little smarter. Because girl, you're dumb. You just blind leading the blind at times. I really wanted her to just kick into action, because we open with that scene in the restaurant, and she's like, I'm an officer, and I was like, okay, all right, we're getting it. And it's something that you feel like it's her life's ambition, especially with it being her father's passion, and it's something that she's supposedly really, really good at. And then when you see her in action, it's like, what the hell? What's up with that? But other than that, I wasn't, too mad at anything here. But if something is meant to be a movie, just let it be a movie. Everything does not have to be a show.
EJ already said it's really good for her, but what were some of the goods? I know you don't have no bads, EJ, for it.
No, listen, if I have to pick one bad, the only bad that I really have is that we didn't get to see much of I can't remember what his name is, whatever his name was, the black guy, because I was just here for
Josh.
I was here for that. That was the only Josh, y'all know I don't remember names, but that was the only bad for me. Like everything else, I was cool with. I loved all the red herrings. I was just out there like, what the hell? Who the hell? What's going on? Like, I loved every single bit of it, just not even knowing. So I thought that there were a lot of good things with this. I told y'all I love love. So I enjoyed the fact of, although she was a little slow on the slow side when it came to the detective side of it, you could tell that she really, really loved Josh. And this was the one that really, really just it blew her mind and just got away. So like, it was just like, she just couldn't let go of it. And I think I just really enjoyed going on that journey with her as we kind of go through all of the, the emotions and get the backstories and all that type of stuff. So that was my main goods with it. I just felt like it was an overall good story. I just didn't have a lot of things that I was like, and I love a good mystery. So I thought that it was a great mystery, and I'm here for anything that got black people in it. I'm like, Issa, I'm rooting for everybody black. Okay. So I was here for all of that. And I do like the fact that we never knew. Like, you just, like, once you thought you knew, you didn't know. You had to go back to the drawing board. You were like, oh, dang, that's not right. And then, it starts up again. So I think that that's what makes a truly good mystery, is when you really have people guessing and trying to figure it out.
At a certain point with the dad, I had a feeling. I knew it. I wasn't like, oh my goodness. I felt more confirmed in the end than just like, I did not expect that at the end. Well, with one of our mysteries.
But I didn't know who he was hoeing with, Tyra.
No, I knew.
That's the part. That's the part right there, Ash.
Like a couple of moments where it was like, hey, girl, like, yes, queen. And some of the moments were very, like when he was referring, I was like, something feels off here. I was like, it was something. I think it was that moment when he came in there with the dog, and he was talking about the anniversary and this, that, and him as a husband. I was like, is he gay?
Tyra got a gator on big time. Okay, I didn't catch it. I didn't. I just thought it was another woman. I was like, oh, he out here with a whole nother family. Okay, that's it.
But maybe that was one of the things that leans like to my bad, because with how much these people were stepping on, I was glad that they closed it out with more, because I thought that was the big mystery. And I was like, I know we ain't gonna do all this because it's a homosession. Like it better be some more motivation outside of the homosession.
Lord have mercy. Next, we have Chasing the Plot, and this is actually the plot for the book, right? So, Missing You delves into the life of Kat Donovan, an NYPD detective whose professional prowess contrasts sharply with her personal vulnerabilities. Kat, a figure of strength and resilience at work, allegedly, grapples with loneliness and a longing for connection in her private life. Her journey into online dating marks the beginning of a tumultuous chapter where her past, symbolized by the appearance of her ex-fiance on a dating site, collides with her present. The plot thickens as Kat, initially seeking closure with Jeff, becomes enmeshed in a far more sinister web. Her visit to the dying hitman imprisoned for her father's unaliving, and his cryptic last words leave her questioning the truth about her father's unaliving. As these multiple plot threads gradually converge, Kat, alongside the son of the missing woman, unravels a tapestry of deceit, violence, and personal betrayal. Again, it sounds amazing based on this. And what I really would have wanted, again, we all didn't really buy Kat as a super detective like Top Cop. It didn't give that. I really wanted to know more about Kat as a person. We got glimmers of who she was, but how it talks about in this plot, like she has this deep yearning and loneliness. I didn't have time to feel that for her. She was always on the go. She was always dating, honey. She was throwing that cat around. She said, "Listen, it was a date. We need. I'm leaving here with something," is what she said. So I didn't really get that. And also, I want to know from you, EJ, what do you think about them moving this story to the UK instead of just keeping it in New York? Do you think that was a good move? How do you feel about that, or did it make a difference for you?
It really didn't make a difference for me. I was here for all of it regardless. I thought it was I don't know. I guess I didn't really think about it that much. Did it bother you? Because it didn't bother me.
Well, there's this whole discussion about actors, especially when it comes to representation, getting work. And I just wonder sometimes if it's beneficial to Black actors in America
I think
when
so.
stuff like this happens.
I think so. I'm here for melanin, and I think we come in all forms, like this one, that one. Like it's not just American ones. And I feel like there are amazing, amazing, amazing UK actors out there. I mean, listen, Franklin had me, he had me convinced that he was not. So
Mhm.
I just feel like it really, if they can, and I can't really, like I thought it was great. So I don't know. I guess I don't necessarily see that as an issue, but I guess I could see why some people would, find it as a topic of conversation. But I thought it was dope. It's fine for me. I don't have no problems with the girl.
Tyra, what about you? And do you think that when looking at the plot for the book that the show aligned with this? Did you feel that coming through? And what do you think about the representation? Or do you feel a way that it was UK based instead of in the States?
I mean, the plot is mostly there except for Kat. Uh, I think we needed more of maybe her individual ambitions. As soon as we got there and we found out about what is it, Josh, the boy, the ex, it was
Josh.
immediately kind of all about him and the lacking thereof, and we're constantly getting these flashbacks, and we're not really spending any real time currently with her. All that we know about her is that, like you said, she throwing it out there because I don't care. I ain't looking to link up no more. I had my heart broken. I'm just trying to do my job and get it in when I'm free. That's pretty much it. But I would have been here for seeing us like New York. You girl. What? We could have got some boom bap or something on. We could have got some soundtrack. We could have, man. It would have. I feel like it would have been a grimy situation because then when you would have had some New Yorker sailors, girl, it would have been. I don't know, girl. I would have been here. Like I do love the UK setting, especially when we're getting into more of the rural areas where they're keeping these people in far out country. Because like New York is loud and noisy, and yeah, I saw that. Like I wanna see, but I'm always here for us getting more representation here. Love the UK down. Do what you got to do. Okay, love it, all that good stuff. But New York setting, especially with because I'm not. But besides Ashley here from Top Boy, I wasn't too familiar with anybody here who was present in the show. So if this could have been the chance to get maybe some OG actors and some new faces and be New York and some hell yeah, I want to see that. But do what you got to do.
Listen, I'm happy for representation however we find it, but I know it's always a hot topic of debate because so many of the American Black roles are, given, I guess, to the actor who they feel is best for it. But I know a lot of it has been across the pond and there's been, discussion. So again, a story within a story, and it's all about toxic lion amen is what I'm feeling, Tyra. Um, Again, we have Ashley here who plays Josh from Top Boy. And then we have Sir Lenny Henry, who actually has developed one of my favorite shows on BritBox called Three Little Birds. It's an amazing period piece. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. But we have Josh, who, I don't give a damn. At the end of the day, you still ran away. You still left her high and dry. You still Dear John'd her, okay? And then as far as this nothing a daddy, like... Tyra, was this what it was about? Is it all about toxic lion amen at this point? Like,
it was about upholding these toxic men because what? There was no reason. Like we going all the way back to, he as long as he come home to me. I was like, why are we over here with as long as he come home to me at night. I'm keeping all secrets and holding it down, and that's your father regardless. All this lying to hold up this toxic dad. And even in the end, they have to have a rebuttal. He was a good man. He was a good man, Savannah. He was here for the family. Yeah, you don't know his life. He went through so much. Like the corruption, that line of things that took place, that domino effect, just so you could keep this secret. Like you didn't figure out you know you wanted you know that before, and you can get into the age and the dynamics and when and where, and we get a little bit of that of him in the show when that's found out, and he's like, yeah, it wasn't as simple for me. I'm not allowed it to be free, and I have to maintain this appearance, and who's gonna love me. We know all those things, but the way that these people were caping all the things that took place just so we couldn't say your father's a homosexual. I was like, what? These some real people. These some real people. What's a friend? Because baby, these people were very dedicated to upholding his secret just as much as he was. But the diabolicalness as far as where he was willing to go. Because who gonna tell my daughter? Who gonna tell my wife? And who gonna leave me? Because if you try to move and you don't want to be a man no more, I'm gonna follow you. Because I need everything. I need everything to work in my wheelhouse in my favor. Because I'm gonna sleep with that man, but I'm gonna go back home to my wife and my child, sir. Sir. And then when I found out that the flat was they little shing dang hookup spot, I was like, oh, sir. Girl, disgusting behavior. This man here, this wannabe good man over here. Why, sir? I was having a problem with Cat. I kept saying, stand up, Cat. Stand up, Cat. What we're not going to do, all of this, I don't want to wait for love. I'm going to start loving now. Girl, where? I don't care what anybody has to say. This gaslighting, once again, he's a good man, Savannah. Clearly, she know how to pick him. She wouldn't have found her father a liar, a deceiver, heartbreaker, just terrible. This man left you. You didn't even do me the due diligence to facade and maybe act like, give me some type of closure. You just disappeared.
Dipped. When
you proposed marriage to me. And then come back like, well, it's all about you, love. I was trying to make you happy. Boy! Girl, all these people pissing me off. Diabolical shadiness. Oh, I'm going to finish. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. And I felt like I said, Josh, they want to make him this good man, but at the end of the day, he left you for dead. Your daddy died and he left you for dead. He didn't send a letter. He didn't send no, Cat, are you okay? He went and he had a biracial child off on the countryside and went about his life and business and wasn't thinking about you at all. And I thought the same thing. I said, oh, she didn't found her daddy. EJ.
Listen, I'm giving Josh a little bit of grace. This situation was a hard situation to deal with when it all comes down to it. Listen, what? I'm
holding it in.
Hear me out first, please. Listen, this was a hard situation for him to have to deal with. It doesn't matter about telling the whole thing, right? I can just go with whatever. Okay, yeah, I'll go with it. At the end of the day, he unalived the one person that she loved the most, right? Right after him, I'm assuming, familiar love or whatnot. That had to be a hard situation to be able to look that person in the face every day, knowing that you unalived them and not being able to be honest about it. Now, do I think he should have just went over there and told her the truth if he truly loved her? Just put it all out there since her daddy clearly was never going to tell the truth? Yes, I do 100% believe that. But at the same time, I do kind of get where he's coming from. Did I like the fact that he left and just didn't say anything in the way he did it? I just felt like he could have presented it in a different package. But I do have some bit of an understanding for it. Like I'm not going to go in that hard on Josh for that because I don't really know how that would feel. Now, as far as the daddy is concerned, and and that whole moving on with your life, I feel like he should have never moved on, period. He should have just been single for the rest of his life. But anyway, that's just how I felt. But as far as the dad is concerned, the dad is the one who I feel is the most toxic when it all comes down to it. The dad is the one who triggered this whole thing. It was his lie that triggered it. It was him that came over here in this rage trying to hide his secret. He has everybody trying to hide this one secret when all he had to do was just be honest with people. Clearly, his wife already knew. She had to have known. There's no way that nobody can ever convince me that she didn't know long ago who it was, not just that there was somebody else, but that it was this particular person. So I feel like this is where everything starts. It starts with him, and then he creates this domino effect for everybody else, and everybody in her life now has to keep something from her because of his big lie. And he's supposed to be the apple of her eye, yada yada yada, and all this stuff, and she thinks her dad is great. And that's all good and dandy when it's all said and done. But the truth is that her dad really was trash. He really was toxic. And he is the reason why her and Josh did it, why they lost all 11 of those years.
Oh, Josh, it was the continuous lie, EJ. He was gonna take that to the grave. You gonna invite yourself back into my life and still lie?
That I didn't agree with that part. Okay.
He didn't come through. She had to be called, on the sideline and given that information by somebody. And your life did not stop. You went on. You had relationships. You had children, boo. Keep on. It was always you, love. Was it? It doesn't feel like it. It wasn't.
I'm here for you, Josh. I got you, boo.
So as we start, right, and this is when I knew she was gonna piss me off, because she immediately pissed me off in the first 5 minutes of the series when she goes to dinner and she's having this date. Clearly it's somebody she swiped on, right? And they're talking about working out. He's clearly vain, but she's clearly into it. Like, I got a bottle of Chiron, whatever it was, at the house. We can drink that. And he's talking about how many calories. Meanwhile, there's a knife wielding chef. And I said, is this supposed to show us her prowess as a detective? Because the way she was never going to talk that man off the edge, the way she needed to go in there, blickies blazing, or just cut him to the quick, because he's already injured people in that kitchen, girl. Kat, this did not make you a detective or a top cop in my book. I was annoyed. We had to get the waterworks and all that, but I think it did tell me who Kat was going to be. EJ, talk to me about this scene. How did you feel what was your initial impression of Kat after these first 5 minutes?
Well, honestly, I thought the same thing. I was like, where are the blickies at, and where is yours at? Because as a detective, I figured you carry it with you at all times, whether you're on a date, whether you're doing whatever. You always got the blicky. And I was like, why are we doing all this conversation? That man is bleeding out. He is going to be DEAD if you do not just go ahead and get this situation under control. But I did love the effects when the rain was coming down. Her skin was glistening. I mean, she was looking like a snack. And I was like, okay, this is about that was what I took from that scene. But yeah, she didn't have enough action from me. And if I was the person laying on the ground, I would have felt offended with all the dialogue. Ma'am, can you please go ahead and make this happen? And I also was offended by the fact that other man was standing back there and he didn't even try to help her. You see, she's struggling. He about to choke her to death. He didn't even try. And she out here helping y'all. I'm just saying, that's crazy.
None of them tried. And Elle, I am fully aware that only certain specific top cops carry the blicky, but did she even pinch him? I needed her to cut him or something. I know she had access to some sort of weaponry. Tyra, what did you think? What was your first impression of Kat after these first 5 minutes? Were you expecting her to go in here and do more or wrestle with this man? Because he's a big old boy. I'm not finna wrestle with him.
I'm not wrestling with you. Shot in the calf right there. Sure did, in the leg. Yep. This was just a predecessor of things to come. Because when I told you the way I yelled at her in that last episode, I was like, shoot him. It's very stop or shoot. Like, no, why? How much do you need before you need to disassemble somebody real quick? Well, maybe we can learn. Maybe she's not trigger happy. This was supposed to give us that even in any circumstance, like we on a date, we're not even on the job, but if I'm needed, I'm going to get in there. But with this, I thought that anybody who was approaching her with a case or with an urgent matter, when nobody else is taking it seriously around her, she's going to go for it. I'm going to do my job. Like, I'm invested. We need to listen to the little people type of thing. And then once we get into Charlie's character, I was like, well, girl, what do he need to print out what he got to do? Write a map on his back? Like, come on, girl. But yeah, this was a notation of what we was gonna get later of her. It's stop or shoot. Don't make me shoot. I don't want to hurt you. Like, shoot him.
Because she just had the blicky when she's dealing with Titus over there on the dog farm or whatever.
Girl, taking her sweet time.
And again, I honestly feel like this could have still been a cohesive, great story without the subtext, without this whole thing. Because I was like, who is this Indian man running? Who is this woman that he's dreaming about? No need. I didn't need any of this, but this ties us into the other portion of the story. Like I said, led by Titus, there's this huge catfishing grift going on where they're using dating sites, using other people's images to sucker these jokers in, to basically robbing them blind. And then not only it's not enough to take all their money. He wants to unalive them as well. Tyra, did we need this? Was this one of those red herrings again? Because I was like, oh, Rishi's going to be important to the story. He's tied into something. We're going to get a clue. Nope, he was just a average Joe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of this actor. I can't remember his name, but I know I've seen him in a few things, and I actually like him. So when we saw him, I was like, oh, this is our guy. He gonna free the folks. Because who I ran away once, I'm gonna run away again. Like, I was like, oh. I mean, I think it was for, more so shock value, and it's like, don't think what's next, and who your lead characters and your red herrings and who's gonna be the survival to the end. Like, no, that's not so true here. Sit back. You don't know, anybody could die. It was supposed to give the premise of nobody's safe, but I didn't mind it. Did we need it? Technically, no, but I wasn't mad at it. This was to show that we mean business. This is the process of, captivity. And even if you're in the news, we're going to set this situation up for you. And I was like, how long you knew that woman? Because I'm not sending none of my bucks for this foot fetish model that is presumed to be somebody else. But, he was like, oh, no, not her. Let me get you what you need. Are you going to let me go? It's just like, yeah, we mean business and we are going to kill you. And we're going to do this to everybody. So it just gives urgency for when we actually get to our main mother. Girl, you got to go because they mean business. They going to kill you.
They going to get you.
EJ, what did you think of this? Were you here for the story? Were you here for Rishi running through and getting, I don't even know, that's one of those cow tasers or something. I don't know.
Girl, first of all, I did not know what the hell was going on. That was my problem. When this part came, I said, what is going on? What is happening? Where we I didn't know who he was. He just popped up, And but I do get it. I mean, I get that, this is part of their case, yada yada yada. But just initially when I first saw it, I was like, well, what is going on here? Because I guess I had a different idea of missing. I don't know. I guess I had a different idea of what I thought I was about to watch. I honestly didn't read I didn't go read the synopsis. That was my bad. I guess I could have done that. But so I really didn't know what was going on. But there are, I'm not going to say he wasn't completely needed, but we could have done without him. But I do think that it's a good setup for just giving us a clear understanding that these people is in it, like giving us an understanding of the bad guy per se and who they are and what they're about. But I was trying to figure out who the blonde lady was until we got to somewhere to the middle. I was like, I thought when we met the little boy, I thought that was his mama. I was like, oh, that is not his mama. My bad.
It was so messy. So here now we are. Kat is back in her apartment. The friends done come back because, she goes to her collective for everything, right? And so now she's back at home. They've convinced her to download a new app. It's, I guess, some sort of song dating app. I've never seen anything of the sort where I guess you match by your musical interest. Interesting, but Josh is back, but he got a different name, Songbird 87 or whatever his little username was on there. And she's like, hold on, this was my man who Dear John'd me. And of course we get the unsolicited flashback to her coming into an empty house, the closet empty. Like I said, he left her for dead, right? Now let me ask everyone, right? Because he's back. I can't make this decision for myself. I need to consult the collective, my mama, everybody else. I think this was the setup. This is what I saw in the trailer and where I thought we were really going to get to go, EJ. I was like, okay, this is the mystery. This is everything. Look, they were so happy. Look at this beautiful melanated black man. Like he was good to her. But what and not to be nitpicky or anything, I still didn't grasp the concept of this great love. And I wanted to. Like, I was like, were they I mean, it looked cute, but I want to see moments of him scratching your head when you was ailing, baby. I want to see him running your bathwater. I want to see
Ma'am.
why it was all, fireworks and champagne. That's what I wanted, EJ. But what did you think? Is this again, this was my initial thought of everything we were going to get in the story. What did you think of this? And did this have you on the edge of your seat? Were you intrigued by this?
I mean, honestly, I thought this story, because like I told you, I didn't read the synopsis. And I thought when we kind of got here, I was like, oh, okay, something done happened to Josh. Who done took Josh? Like, where is he at? Like, I thought that something happened to him and that he's been missing all this time because of the title, Missing You. Like, that's what I thought. And I thought he was the missing person and that we were about to go look for our love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the man that we've loved all this time, and we're getting these flashbacks, and we're about to go find him. He done popped up on this app. Oh, somebody's playing. Like, what is really going on? What happened to Josh? Because he didn't just leave her. Somebody snatched him up. That's literally what I thought, that somebody snatched him up. I think that everybody has their person, and regardless if it is, I sometimes I don't think it needs to be. I think it needs to be what they envision it to be. Maybe this was just her person that she could laugh with, kiki with, karaoke with, whatever the case is. Maybe that was just it. And maybe they finished each other's sentences. Like, this is just me speculating on what their love could be. We don't know everything. We saw some glimpses, some pieces, but whatever it is, I was here for Josh and Kat. Like, I wanted to see more, but I really did think that man was missing, y'all. Sorry.
Baby, I want a whirling dervish. I want steam heat. I want to feel that thing, especially when we have time for it. But Tyra, talk to me about Josh being back. And if it really is, I don't know. I think immediately it would have been red flags because he jilted me 11 years ago, walked out of my life with his raggedy duffel bag. Now he's matching with me on a site. This ain't him.
Yeah, I was over there with Shannon. She said, I thought it was a con artist. Me too. I was like, girl, keep running this. The way that the premise was going and how all of these other people are being captured, it's like, oh, it was all love and they proposed, they were going to get married and, empty your bank account. I was like, well, did he fall, in love with her to where I thought he was in on a take? I thought he was over there. I thought he was in on the take, and it was just like, this is a romance that went a bit far. I was really connected to her. Now I gotta just ghost because I don't want her to, meet her in the outhouse. I was like, well, or I thought it was legit, like Missing You. Like, I'm gonna find this man. This was the love of my life. But when it was like, oh, he's been posting, like, oh, this is a recent photo, and it was like, oh, like he's still alive in real time mood. I was like, okay, well, baby, anybody who would just abruptly leave you like that, how great could they have been? Like, I wanted her to be more realistic, but I think that caters to her character and how she has rose tinted glasses on about her father, and just her wanting to believe that these people are who they were to her. Like, she wants to keep and live in that facade, and everybody around her wanted her to stay. But I'm like, does she? Because did y'all even maybe try to fathom telling her the truth to see if she could digest it? They act like she wasn't gonna be able to live if they were in on the information. Like, so, but it gives off that she likes to live in that bubble of my father would never, Josh would never, he loved me, this, that, and the third. But it's like, baby, he left you. There's a difference. And, it's not me, it's you. I can't do this anymore. And you going back in the closet is just empty. There's no trace of you. Like, I don't know if you're alive, if you're dead, if you're okay, you're just gone. But at the thought of you just popping up and matching, you're still, that good person that I thought that you were all those years ago when you proposed to me. Like, and this wasn't like, 2 years ago. Like, it's been a decade plus. And it's still, he could never. I was like, girl, you don't know that man. You don't know that man. But yeah, I was surprised, child.
Then we go over because, like I said, she asked the whole collective, she asked the community, and she just like, let me go ask my mama. And I said, that's the wrong one to ask anything. Because the way this mama, and I hate to call her an old fool. I hate to call her that, but it was just the denial. Denial is a river in Egypt. Your husband is
It's
gay.
gay.
He is. Shout out to Dochi. But yeah, no, you're the wrong one because baby, do whatever your heart tells you to do. Yes, reconnect with him. This man who left you for dead, like I'm like, what mama? Tyra, what are you telling your child if she in a situation like Cat? If you got a cat, right? And she come to you and you say, Mama, this man that dear John me 11 years, he's matching me on this dating site. Should I go? Would you say, baby, yeah, go ahead, follow your heart. Go figure it out. Go get answers to your questions. What would you say to your child?
Girl, stand up. We don't have time for this. Like, absolutely not. Her entire inner circle was a hindrance to her upbringing in her life. Clearly, like it was terrible. These people are awful. And all of this under the guise of it's because we love you, it's because we care about you. No, you're lying. How much could all of them have thought about her that every single person in her corner was keeping an avid secret from her that would heavily impact her life? There's no love here. I'm excommunicadoing from all y'all. I don't want to see nobody. You go over there and take Josh with you. Like, she gave what information she would naturally give any woman who would stay faithful and in a relationship with a man, especially, back in them good old days, as long as he come home to me. Not only was he, on the low end DL and whatnot and living a double life, but you were a menace. You were a whole crook working for, bosses and whatnot to keep this secret. You're letting everybody in on it. You're this double agent, this thing. You're like a not even you're like a quadruple agent because you got all these different personas and personalities. And then the moment that one of my friends happened to see you, it's instantly life threatening. You were willing to go to bat to keep that secret intact. Yeah, this isn't a good thing, and this just the gaslighting in the kitchen when she was like, "You didn't tell me, you lied." And it's just like it was all for you, Damien. Like it was this. Like, what are y'all talking about? This
There
is
were
insane.
rumors. There were rumors, but I couldn't confirm anything. I didn't know for certain.
She knew, like she didn't want to believe it, but yeah, don't try to make it seem like it's all me. And the fact that she was investigating and getting closer, and they just kept lying, and it wasn't to protect her; it was to protect the father. Even
Mhm.
now, this wasn't no alliance to her. This was all about the dad. Tragic.
EJ, what advice? Well,
Yes.
answer me this first. Do you
Mhm.
agree with the advice that Mama Donovan gave Kat? And if the Kat was your child, what would you have said? What would have been your advice in this situation?
So I think if it were, I mean, the advice that she gave to her, just looking at it from different perspective, let's just say it like that. I'm not mad at her for telling. I would have presented it more as closure because clearly Kat is stuck in time, and I need her to get unstuck from time and be able to move on. And he didn't give her that closure that she needed. She doesn't know why. She doesn't have her answer. She's a detective, for crying out loud. They need questions answered, right? And I
Mhm.
feel like what I would say to my daughter is if you feel like you need closure, then pursue it, but not in a romantic way. Pursue the answer. Pursue what's going to give you the closure so that you can move on. Like that's the advice that I would give to her because I'm super protective of my daughter, but also wouldn't want her stuck where Kat is. Kat just can't move on. She literally is just swiping left and trying. I think is that the right way? Left is the
Left
pick
you
one,
throw
right?
away, right you keep.
Okay, she's swiping right. You know what I'm saying? And she out here just doing what she do on a regular basis. That means that she doesn't want to have a connection. She don't want to fall in love because she's stuck and still in love with him. So I would tell her, like, if this is what's going to give you closure and allow you to move on, then maybe pursue it. But
Oh, baby, that man don't want to be found. That man ain't thought about you, girl. He ain't looking for you. Like, come on in the kitchen, get this hot plate.
Finally, after we get all this out of the way, all these dating fiasco, and I don't know. And let me just to go back real quick. Like I feel like if I know who my child is, and Kat was certified lover girl on this Josh. I know she gonna fold like a folding chair. I know that I'll be like, baby, when he left and he left you that note, that was your closure, baby. Cause I can't abide it. I just knew she was gonna fold. When she got to smelling him, sniffing on his neck when they was hugging out on the countryside in front of the little lake or whatever.
Girl,
I said, oh yeah, she's
she
done
was
for.
her lady parts were on fleek just at a photo. Like, oh my god, it's a recent photo. It's Josh. It's the girl. She was melting. She's melting pot of
Well,
lust.
Josh must have had that good, y'all. Gotta stop hating on Josh like that. Josh had that good, and she was trying to get back to it.
Had that beefcake. I mean, something so deep must have happened. We just didn't get to really see what it was. But back to business. Kat is back on the job because also, while all this is going on, we're also confronted with this thing about her father, right? Because again, at this point, she doesn't know the circumstances surrounding her father's death. She knows that a hitman confessed to the crime, but she still doesn't know who hired him, right? Because the hitman, he's for hire. So that means somebody paid him, right? Which is another kind of field that they're gonna chase us in. And so she gets to talk to what is his name? Lamorne? Something like that. Y'all know, forgive me. I know this man from The Good Wife. He was Kalinda's ex-husband. That's where I know this man from, but he's diabolical. And so she questions him and he's like, girl, yeah, I did it. I enjoyed it. I laughed while I was doing it. The nurse has pity and says, let me go ahead and give him this truth serum, girl. You got a good 5 minutes to ask him the questions. This is the other moment where she pissed me off, girl. You only got 5 minutes. Ask the questions you need answers to and don't be pouting when he falls asleep, because we knew that was going to happen. But ultimately, he said he thinks she's his sister and he's talking to her and he's like, no, baby girl, I didn't do that one. You know, I did a lot of them, but that one I didn't do. I just took the rap for it because I was already in here. So this is what opens up the mystery around really there's more to her father's death and she wants to explore it more. EJ, talk to me about Kat finally getting to business. Were you here for this moment? Do you appreciate how she handled the hitman?
No, I don't appreciate how she handled him because that was my literal words. I was like, please ask the right questions and get to it quickly. You don't have time for no emotions. We ain't got time for that. We got a short window and we need to get the right answer. Just ask the right questions and let's move forward. And I just felt like she went in there with her feelings and not her detective hat. A detective, no, let me get this. But she went in there with daughter feelings and oh my God. I was like, stop. Ask them questions and hurry up so that we can get the answers. But so I wasn't really feeling it, but I did. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. We're about to go this route. So immediately I started compiling my list of people who actually did unalive the father. And sorry to say that Josh was not one of them. But this is when I started making my list.
Well, and I mean, they're leading us to the Irishman, Callaghan, or whatever his name was, right? And we're immediately like, okay, because he was slapping kids. Like we know, they paint this picture of how diabolical this boss is, this crime boss, this local crime boss. Tyra, do you appreciate how Kat handled this 5 minutes of truth situation? And from here, did you have theories about who done it?
Girl, I ain't appreciate nothing Kat did. Okay, if you want to be frank, I didn't appreciate nothing. This was just a whole list of things and scenarios where Kat was just taking too long. Like, girl, if you don't, Kat, please. like Kat was just, a little, but I was happy that this is where I really felt like when the story got rolling. I was like, okay, now we're here. Because once we got to, it ain't about Josh being a missing person. Oh, well, so where do we go from here now? And it's like, okay, well, now we got some other things brewing. But at this point, I was like, yes, it's that little boss of yours. He looks suspicious. He looks suspicious. He looked like he full of lies. But I was really building up to this other like crime boss. I thought they were building him up to just really be more present in the show or active in different ways than he was. But it was just very, yeah, I'm that. Yeah, and what? Who gonna check me after this? We over. Like I was, but yeah, I didn't appreciate any moves Kat made. They were never rarely smart. Rarely. And if they were smart, it was like the basic, like, girl, I could have done that.
Could have done.
But you know who was a good detective in the show? You know who was great? Girl,
Who?
Charlie. Charlie was
I was
on
just
it.
gonna say that.
Charlie was a great detective. He the one needed to be on the job. Yes.
My mama's missing. And she's with your man. Your man, your man, your man. This got me. Because I said, what was his name? Brendan. I said, you are following this lady all around. Listen, he had answered. Now, he knew some stuff. And so he, of course, approaches Kat and is like, look, my mother is missing. I need your help. Everyone's saying she's around, but she's not. Even Kat was like, your mom's alive. Get out of my face. Like, I don't want to talk to you initially. And finally, when he says, no, but she's with your man. Like, she's matched with your man and she's out and about. She's not checking on me. My mama called me. My mama calls me on the regular to check on me, and she hasn't been. And so now enter the other mystery, the other story, that we get to with Titus eventually and all that. Tyra, were you here for this? Were you here for diving into the new thing? And again, why was Kat so dismissive of him? I mean, damn, until he mentions Josh, you're on your own, buddy.
That's why I was like, you a sad detective. Like, girl, when she told him, like, you're 19, right? Do you really still need your mom to call and check in? Like, grow up. I was like, ma'am, I really hope that this is not the true process of trying to file a missing persons report and trying to get somebody to really plead for your case, that this is unusual behavior for my mother. Something is happening. And not only that, it's just like, yeah. And she's with this, like, oh, Josh is there? Oh, now that changes everything. Tell me more. Like, no, you need to be invested as a detective, okay? But I loved how relentless he was. Like, I don't care who got something to say about it. I'm gonna find my mama. It ain't nothing nobody can do to tell me, which is natural and really reasonable for the story. You're not going to come and tell me information about somebody who I'm with every day. I know their behavior patterns. I know when something is offset and unusual. She's missing. Something's going on. Even like the little dating things he has. And he's like, when she kept excusing things, he was like, so you mean to tell me that this location was that way? But she stopped to go in the opposite direction, to go to the ATM and get money in the bank and this. So, well, maybe it would go. Well, why? Did you really not give a damn? If you don't give a damn, just say that. If you can't get past you swiping and seeing that man or whatever the factors are, maybe just say that. But I love that he never gave up. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna find my mama.
Period. He was determined. He said something ain't right. I know her, and this is not her. EJ, were you here for this story? Were you here for Brandon and his motivation to find his mama? And what did you think of how Kat handled him initially before Josh was mentioned?
Listen, because Josh is all that matters, okay? But initially I was like, oh goodness gracious, your mama. Okay, so I've looked at a lot of mystery shows to understand, and I get it. But just in theory, if I were Kat, I might have been thinking the same thing initially. I might have been like, okay, bro, you 19, she got a new man, she's gone on vacation, she might call you later. But then as we get a little more persistent with it, I'm like, okay, Kat, now we probably should take this a little bit more serious, because, he says that she calls me every day, da da da, yada, yada, yada. I was on the fence at first, but it was with Josh for me too. I'm sorry. When she said, when he mentioned Josh name, I was like, oh, okay, then this might be something. Let's focus, Kat. Let's focus. Let's see what's going on with Josh and his mama.
I'm breaking and entering. I'm gonna find since it's your man. Is that your man? Yeah, I'm gonna find some information because I'm gonna find my mother.
That's what it was about. And this is the actual case. Again, that Kat should be investigating actively. I mean, this should be the priority, girl, because because Titus is diabolical. And like I said in the very beginning, I think that his villainy was limited. I mean, I really thought he could have been crucial. He was bad, but I think we could have spent some more time with Titus to really find out his true motivation. I mean, because it seemed like he almost had pleasure from this. But then in his ragtag crew, but basically, again, they're catfishing people on the dating site. They're getting the people, holding them captive and taking all the money. But they got the right one with Brendan's mama. Because when I tell you that she wasn't here to play any games, I said she was moving in her Moses era, right? She became ultimately the deliverer. She was setting all the captives free, and I was here for that until her raggedy son gets snatched back up. EJ, talk to me about this portion of it. What did you think of Titus as a villain, and what did you think about this storyline in terms of not only we're catfishing the people stealing their money, but then we're going to unalive them and basically feed them to the dogs? They didn't do that,
Yeah.
but basically.
I love this storyline. I thought that this was dope, actually. I was like, oh, okay, I like this. But I would have liked to know what his real motivation was, because I really still have no clue why he was doing this. Like, how, like, I was just like, okay, what's all the, I mean, I get that we're trying to get the money, but how did it start? Like, who came up with the concept? Like, and how do you know it's these particular people? Like, it was just a lot of questions that I had around just him in general. But I love the mom. I love the idea of a good catfish. And then it started dawning on me, because I told y'all I thought the blonde lady was the blonde lady with Rasheed. And by the time Richie, y'all know, don't judge me. By the time we kind of get to a point where I know that the people are up here, I'm like, oh, okay, the blonde lady is going to be up here with him, but still thinking it's the blonde lady in his dreams, not quite putting together that blonde lady, that this is a different blonde lady. So I thought that they got kidnapped together. And then I was like, oh, dang, now I'm thinking Josh done got kidnapped. I've had a lot of things that I thought, I was like, Josh done got kidnapped. He going to be in here. They're going to pan to him any moment now. And this is where he's missing. And this is how the case is all going to tie in. Why did they I literally thought that that's where we were going with this. Way off base. I love the mom. Honestly, I thought that it was going to be Richie that freed all the people, to be honest. But this is my problem. If you hit them once, don't stop hitting them. Like, what are you doing? Do not hit them one time. Just keep going. Richie could have got away. He really could have got away if he had just kept hitting. And I thought that the mom was going to fool around and be in the same boat. But, she came back through. But this was great. I love the catfishing idea once I finally put it all together in my mind and was like, oh, okay, this is what we doing. I loved it. I thought it was a great case.
Yeah. And my issue is, though, with Kat being top cop detective, she still isn't the one who solved or busted this thing wide open. Like, she literally just followed Brendan get abducted. Tyra, talk to me about the actual case. What did you think of the character arc with Titus? Do you think we got enough of him? Did you feel like you understood his motivations?
Okay. I thought the motivation is clearly money, because even say I freed everybody, just is like, yeah, where's the money? That's rightfully my money. I want my funds. I don't give a damn what's going on here. Like, when he told that lady, like, yeah, I've been spying, look at all these pictures. You're a harlot. You don't get a dog. You're not this dog. You would never. I was like, oh, he has the making. Like, Titus was low key a Bond villain in a small film. We could have really went, especially if the other big bad wasn't so much substantial to the storyline outside of, what we get there. We could have utilized him. I wanted to see him be more diabolical, because maybe the way he did not care. He did not care. I think we could have utilized him more and really added to the intensity of, y'all, please get to Brandon's mama. Please get over there to her. As far as her, like, I wish we got a little bit more time. Like, I wanted some flashbacks with her, just like we got. It says a lot that I felt more of a substantial connection between Brandon and his mother and why he was seeking her versus Kat and Josh. Because when he gave I forgot what he said, but the story as to why, like, I'm never going to stop looking for my mother. I don't care what happens. And I was like, right? Yes. You better say that. Like, it felt very deep in how, relentless he was. But yeah, Titus could have been allowed to cook a whole lot more, because he was like, yeah, we're going to save the dogs and kill the people.
Absolutely. And at this point, listen, I'm looking at everybody crazy. I'm looking at Aqua sideways because, girl, I'm looking at Brendan because he was creepy and a stalker to find Kat. Because why don't you just call the police? Call them people, wait the 48 hours and do what you need to do and follow by the book. Charlie, her partner, listen, the newbie, I didn't trust Charlie either. He big fine now. We not going to deny. Charlie's a good looking man, but I didn't trust him either. And I damn sure didn't trust Detective Stagger. right? The one who worked with the daddy. At this point in the story, I'm trusting absolutely no one. Tyra, did you trust any of these jokers at this
Oh my
point?
God. No. Oh my God. No. I was like, oh, this is an awful band of people. Awful people. I mean, they set it up really well for you not to trust Brandon, because what are you doing in my home? Breaking and entering is a whole new level of I'm seeking out my mother. I feel like you might have vital information. The way he was on the run, I was like, sir, you gonna scale the wall and leap a building next? Like, what are you gonna get on the rooftop? I think the most like properly, like the way that the red herrings were, because we had so many, I think it was done really, really well with Charlie, because he was a newcomer and he had this little discontent, like, I don't know what's going on. And it kind of felt like he could be hiding something. I thought it was handled really, really well with him. The boss over there, the main guy, there was absolutely no subtlety.
None
I
whatsoever.
wanted him to do. I wanted him to do a bun spin in the chair real quick and hit one of those. Like it was nothing. You knew he was hiding something, and the less you know, the better. I think they would have added so much to the story if it was like, oh my god, I just well he kind of, if there was more duality with him, because with Charlie we kind of saw it up until the end when we knew, like, okay, we kind of know where his allies, like where he lies. The boss over there, you never like felt this was, just forget about it. He lied to you. No, it was like, you're lying. You never believed him at any point in the story. Aqua over there, yeah, get rid of her quickly. Like, you gotta go. You have to go. Like, even though we find out what happened and why she lied in the end, I just no. I don't know. It felt like she was upholding her friendship with him more than she was with Kat. I was like, well, who did you no longer, sis? Who did you no longer? Like, it was like my best friend type energy, and it was just like he would, like, when she got so defensive of him when she said that she saw him, and we get into the scenario, and it was like, I'm protecting him versus what this could be doing to you, when I could protect you and protect myself also. It was just kind of all about him. At first I thought, I was like, it was just friendship. It was just friendship. Okay, but yeah, it would trust nobody. Absolutely not. Not even a little long-haired private investigator. Don't trust nobody.
None of them. And even how Aqua jumped on Brendan, I was like, girl, get off of him. EJ,
Why?
talk to me.
Why? Because
Talk to
he was talking mess about Josh. I was like,
I don't like that. Josh was my best friend that jilted your bestie. Like,
I thought her and Josh was bumping pocketbooks.
EJ, did you trust any of these people at this point? Did you trust any of them?
Oh no, I always have a rule of thumb. Don't trust nobody at all, ever, never. And these people I really didn't trust. The boss, I was on him from the jump. I was like, something ain't right with you. Honestly, I thought he was the person behind the person at the thing. I was like, gotta be him. He gotta know about it. He gotta be in on it. He might be under the boss's boss. Like, something ain't right with him. And then, of course, the son was giving off stalker vibes. Brendan, I was like, why are you in this woman's house? Why are you doing all of this? Something ain't right with you either. I don't trust you fully either. Yeah, you say your mama missing, but there's something else going on. I don't trust it. Aqua doing too much. I was like, first of all, where does our alliance lie with? And maybe, it led me to believe that her and Josh must have been closer friends, or maybe Kat was the friend that was brought into this friendship and became a friend, because we are super loyal to Josh. And so I was like, oh. And then when I saw her jump Brendan for that phone, I was like, oh, you. Like, I didn't trust nobody. It was just a lot going on. And Charlie, I felt like he was Charlie for me was like I felt like he was gonna go snitch. Like, every moment I felt like he was gonna go tell Stagger, who I already didn't trust. So that built up my distrust for him, because I was like, you gonna go tell it. You gonna go. You gonna tell it any minute now. But I was wrong. I admit it.
Charlie was over there knocking boots. He didn't care.
Okay.
I don't know why we wasted time on that storyline. I was like, we don't need this.
Now that we really didn't. I don't know what was going on with that.
Always. But the real MVP, basically, because of course the case gets solved with Titus Nim, but she's the real MVP. Brendan gets abducted in the broad daylight, and Kat just happens to witness the abduction. Talking about stop. Girl, they're gonna
She ain't
stop.
got no blicky.
How she not have a they keep saying she don't have a blicky, but she ends up popping Titus. So where'd she get that one from? Did she pick it up
It
on the
was
ground?
the henchman. It was on the ground before the people
Oh,
Yeah.
took him out and he
okay,
dropped
that's a
it.
shame. So we the only ones unarmed in here, but I feel like the mama was the only one with any good sense. Again, she had got away. She was setting all the people free, and then her son just happens to get snatched up, not listening to the phone. I'm like, boy, she telling you to run the opposite direction, and you steady walking towards the van. Oh, here's the van right here. Yeah, go ahead and walk in there, Brendan. And so now she's got to come basically save the day because Kat gets there just in the nick of time
What
to
is going
actually
on?
take out Titus. But I'm like, girl, you done ran all around the wrong places. He yelling and screaming. You can't hear where his voice is coming from. But still, in my mind, Brendan Mama was the one with the most sense and the only reason Titus got taken out. EJ, what did you think of the mama and the conclusion to the grift? Because I mean, it was over and we still had one episode to go.
Yeah, I was like, so where are we going? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, because I didn't know. But yeah, the mom really was the real MVP. I was mad at Brendan. Like, why are you going to stranger danger? I know they taught you that a long time ago. You do not just walk to a van because some random person. You said that your mom's been gone all this. Does that sound like something your mama would do? Have somebody else call you and say that no, that don't even sound right. So why are we like, I know you've been doing smart things this entire time. You've been figuring things out. This, I was like, no, Brendan, don't do it. I'm just screaming at him not to go to the van. Then Cat pop up. I'm like, faster, Cat, faster. Then I realized she don't have no blicky. She can't save him. And Brendan is kidnapped. And now who gotta save him? His mama. The kid, the person that the kidnappee got to save the new kidnap. I mean, what are we doing? It wasn't her job to save another kidnap. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, she trying to get away. She trying to free all the people. You know, let my people go, type of thing. And now she got to come back and save you. When we were on the run, she was walking with them people. They
She
was gone.
was.
I don't understand it. But yeah, she was definitely the real MVP. And I'm glad that she had very good common sense, you know, and she was alert. And honestly, I probably would have left Brendan there. Like, I told you to walk away. Let me call them people
Somebody
right quick.
needed it. Because, I
Hello.
mean, she done absconded a phone. She done picked up the right weapons at the right time. She done hit people in the right places. She done navigated. She done snuck back in the house, got the phone to call Brennan to warn him, and he still get caught up. Tyra, what did you think of the mama? Was she the real MVP? And where did you think we were going after this? Because we still had an episode and a half left after this.
Oh, I knew we had to wrap stuff up with that father. We had to do that, and I just knew that little I can't do this on the little waterfront. That wasn't going to be the end all to be all as far as Josh. Not when we put so much stock in missing him. Baby, she had to be the MVP, or she was going to die along with them other contestants. Okay, they weren't going to make it. They weren't going to make it out of that barn because with nobody coming. The way that shot of Kat actually I was like, is this on another? Are they on some additional property? What is taking her so long to get over there? They kept doubling back. She's standing in the barn in the dark. Oh God. Oh, I'm like, if you heard it, well, like if you don't get over here, I'm gonna shoot your son. You heard it, and you just I was like, what is she doing? They kept cutting back to her getting there. I was like, and how you let the mother beat you there? I thought like maybe she wasn't in action when she announced herself. I was like, girl, you finally get a gun. She just didn't want to shoot nobody. She just didn't want to shoot nobody. I was like, once he showed like he shot him in the leg, like what are we still trying to apprehend without? I was like, maybe this is a part of the training academy over there in the UK. I don't know. Maybe some stuff that we just don't know, but I just needed her to go off and I needed her to get there a little quicker. This mother shouldn't have had to do all that damn work alone. It wasn't no police. It wasn't nobody there. And you never saw like the police like show up like, oh, you know, it was just like, if it wasn't for her, everybody would have died.
Basically, I mean,
Pretty
At the
much.
end of the day, y'all. But you guys, thank you. And shout out to the almost 50 people who are here and have been here this entire time to talk about missing you. But we do want to let you know that you don't just only see us here. We are available in the membership for watch-alongs every Saturday night. And this week it is Tyra's pick over at Struggle Reviews TV. I want to just share with you guys what she has planned for us this weekend, and we will be right.
You, brother, you look mighty healthy to need healing. What can possibly be your problem? His mind is filled with lunacy. Have mercy on his soul. Now sit down before I put this glove on your ass. You come to white folk.
Calm down, Daddy. Leroy didn't mean any harm.
Get out.
Leroy ain't mean no harm. Y'all, I ain't seen that movie.
Girl,
I'm
Richard
so excited
Pryor.
to watch it.
So much cussing about to happen. Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Easing on down this road. So now that we've wrapped up the grifter, the catfishing scheme, and all of that, Kat done found this man, honey. She found out he was writing a newsletter. She done went to the P.O. box, done found his daddy, which I am feeling a kind of way because, girl, you was with him all this time, gonna marry this man and had never met the dad before?
Girl.
Like,
That
like
part.
where we at? So now we on the countryside. We find out that he got a whole 7-year-old child. So basically, you ain't stopped nothing. You got back home, you left her for dead, and you started hunching right away. Not with that baby mama anymore. So they're connected. Oh, I just want to breathe you. I love you. Reunited, and it feels so good and problematic. Tyra, talk to me about this reuniting situation because and I'm a romantic, y'all. I'm a hopeful romantic, and it gave me nothing. I said, oh, he left me for dead.
Aww.
I am not. I wanted answers. I was like, that's all he had to say. I was like, you still don't really have justification for like what he did is not justified in this moment. Like, I need you to over explain. I need, it was just instant, like, oh, like just falling right back into whatever they left. And I was like, ugh. And him just acting like his world stopped, and no matter what, I was always like, yeah, but that didn't stop you from going on with your life. Her life more so stopped. She's been stagnant as far as dating, but you clearly had, a full-fledged relationship, marriage, because you were widowed. It wasn't a baby. You were widowed. You went on. You got married. You had a daughter. Like you've lived your life. It just wasn't enough, and it really bothered me that this was the moment for you to tell everything. This was the moment for you to tell everything. Like, how good of a man are you, Savannah? After everything, years later, you still decided to lie. You was gonna take that to your grave, but you want me to think that you have my best interest at heart. How can you sleep at night? How can you rub on my booty knowing you stabbed my father, accidental or not, or whatever happened? How can we wake up every morning and grow old together when you know you killed my father? That's crazy. That's a killer. Okay, that's a he got something in his pocket. Watch him. No.
EJ, I know you loved it. So talk to me about Reunited, and
I
it feels so
did.
good. Was it
I did.
problematic though? Was there anything problematic about it, EJ?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, I am not a blind love person. I just happen to love love and I love the concept of it. But I am, there was definitely some problematic issues with this. This was the moment that he should have been honest with her. I mean, the whole entire reason why we left in the beginning is because we didn't want to spend the rest of our life with her with this secret. So if now we are trying to reconnect and rekindle this or whatever it is that we're trying to do in this moment, then truth needs to be told, because otherwise you leaving, there was no purpose behind that. You could have just lived that lie with me the entire time and not had me out here for 11 years wondering where the heck you were, right? So I feel like that was definitely the problematic part of it, is that this was the time for truth. That the dad is gone at this point. I mean, he's gone to the upper room anyway, and it's been quite some time. Now's the time for you to say exactly what happened and put it all out on the line, and allow her to make a decision on if she still wants to be with you or not, if she still wants to love you or not, knowing the actual truth, because I mean, it's all built on a lie at this point.
And that's why it feels like she literally found her father in a man, and locked in on him, because the principle is the same, right? Like, I'm gonna just lie to you. As long as you don't know the truth, we can be good, and I can operate like nothing's happened. I can run up in it. Okay, I can get out of bed and go take a shower and clean up after without a care in the world, while all the while living and perpetrating a lie, because I don't think, if it hadn't been revealed, baby, that he was ever going to tell her anything about it. And so now it all comes out. Daddy was DL, honey, living a lie, corrupt, and a maniac. So here's what happens, you guys. So we're, he's a part of the community. Okay. He's there. And so is Aqua, because she's part of the community as well. And she walking out the club and see him and his man in an alley, in an embrace, coming out of an embrace. And she says, oh, and turns around, like she clutches her pearls a little bit and turns around, but not before Daddy Donovan sees her and is like, oh, hell no. Like, she finna blow it up. Like, she's gonna tell everything. And so she gets scared, let me walk a little bit faster, because now he walking a little bit faster. Man, he goes on a whole mission. Like, this was premeditated. He was going to unalive Aqua. I am under no illusions about this. Calls, I need you to check on this for me, calls Stagger. He's doing stuff in the background. What's her address? Let me go over there. Goes to Aqua's house, confronts her, and it says, I know you think it's sweet, but we come from two different times. It's all cute for you to be who you are, but it's not for me. I want my man, I want my wife and my child, and I don't want them to know about it. And she said, well, I'm not going to tell anybody, but you need to tell them. You need to tell your wife and your child. They love you. They'll accept you. Now, Aqua, you was pushing it with that, because I don't know if he would have actually aired it out. I don't know what the backlash. It probably would have been hefty backlash. But it was true. You need to tell the truth. Come up out of that, so you're not living a life of deception. And so he spazzes. He spazzes in that moment. It's a full-on assault. And I said, Aqua, you better know how to fight, because she was kind of getting with him a little bit. But mind you, he's a trained officer. So they're going at it. Enter Josh, who we know was Aqua's roommate from before. They have a long history. And I guess he's known for protecting Aqua, right? Because she is part of a marginalized community, I'm sure, that gets bullied and all of those things. So he gets there. He sees Daddy Donovan with the blade. And somehow he gets the blade, Daddy Donovan running, and he runs on the blade. Okay. In the meantime, in between time, Stagger comes up. The dad calls him, or they have a conversation. I don't know if it was when he was there or when he called him, but he said, I don't want it to get out. So just cover it up. Just say so-and-so did this to me. I don't want anything. And I thought that was the weirdest tie-up of it all, because really, sir, you just got unalived and you're still worried about keeping your secrets. EJ, talk to me about the exposure of Daddy DL and him covering up his own crime, like his own unaliving.
Daddy was on the down low. Down low. Listen, Daddy was out here. He said, look, ain't nobody gonna come between me and this secret right here. I'm gonna take the secret to the grave with me, literally. He was not trying to and there's a part of me that gets him not wanting the secret to come out, with him being a cop, and then the time and all that. I get all of that, but at the same time, at what point do we live in our own what point do we live for us? What point do we stop lying to everybody around us and just say, hey, this is who I am, this is who I want to be, this is who I love, yada yada yada. Like I hate the concept and the idea of the DL thing. It just it irritates and irks me so bad. And just seeing him in that alley, begging this man to come back to him because, we know that they had broke up. It was over, right? And now he wanted him back. He couldn't live without him. And then someone else sees you. And now you go through all of these things to get to this person just to try to get them to cover it up. And these are your daughter's friends. No, at this point, let me tell her before y'all tell her. That's the idea that I would think that the father would have had. That's what, as a father, as that's how I would, if it were my father, I would want him to think like that. Like, no, this secret has gone on long enough. Let me go and be the one to tell you because I don't want anyone else to explain it. And I've already had to do unthinkable things. I've already had to compromise my career and everything else just to keep this secret. So what good has it done me? You know what I mean? Like, so that was my whole thing with the daddy and just this whole thing, because I felt like it triggered everything else. And I felt like it messed with other people's lives as well. The very people that you claim to love and care about. I mean, you had this mom who was in complete and utter denial in a sense, just because she just wanted to be with her man, instead of just allowing this man to go out and live in his truth. Like, I feel like she could have been like, look, go live your truth because this ain't it. And be able to be with someone who truly cared about her. Yeah. So daddy was a lot, but, I don't know. It was just sad to me. It was very sad that even in his old age, he couldn't just be honest and truthful and just, do the right thing. And you're supposed to stand for something. You're a detective. You're supposed to protect and serve. But in that moment, you didn't protect or serve anyone, not even your own family, and you were willing to go to this great length, because I believe he would have unalived her. I believe Aqua would have been a story, there. And then we have Stagger's over here, and he wants to, you literally want to keep more secrets for this man, and you're actually going to go and cover it up. Like, I just thought it was weird that you would put your career on the line too, because if these things, like, we all know the age old thing, the only way that a secret don't get out is if somebody else is gone, right? Like, that's the only way. If there are multiple people who know the secret, that secret, it has a potential of getting out there, right? So you're willing to put your career on the line in hopes that none of these people will feel any guilt or anything, and they'll just keep this secret for life. Well, I mean, they actually did. But I'm just saying, in most cases, a lot of people feel guilty and just start regurgitating. But it was a lot. Oh, Daddy DL.
It was. Daddy DL was a maniac. But and here's the thing. Just because someone has secrets doesn't mean people need to indebt themselves to those secrets. Like, I feel like everybody is their own person, and at any point, any of these jokers could have decided to tell the truth or decided not to go along with the plan, as it were. Tyra, talk to me about Daddy DL, the exposure, the Stagger cover up. Honey, it just, was he gonna take out Aqua? Was he gonna take her out?
Take out Aqua. This is a serial unaliver, okay? He needs to be on the news. This is a criminal. He was on the wrong side of the law. This is a criminal, a professional criminal. Due to my DL, he was DL in multiple ways. This is a very sick individual. Like, something is wrong with this man. The way he went for her, that wasn't his first rodeo. He has went for plenty and would have went for anybody else who jeopardized this precious secret of his. This is just nefarious. Like, this is a hoodlum. I just hated that he kept being painted as a good guy and a father, and he was all these things, but at least he cared about you. At least, what, you want a cookie for that? What about all the other distasteful things and qualities that you offer as a man, as a person, and as a husband? Despicable. He needed to go to prison. Okay, you needed to go. Like, the fact that he was gonna kill her, it wasn't no. I was just contemplating in the moment. No, he was going to kill her. He was gonna kill, like, anybody he would have killed. Josh, you get in my way. Like, I'm not letting this out. Like, if you were willing to do that to these people that were close to you and to your daughter, your family, what were you doing out there on the streets as a henchman for such and such? Like,
Callaghan, yeah.
criminal, serial unaliver. Get him out of here. He got his just desserts. I don't have time for this because you didn't have to come at her like that in that apartment. That was crazy. I
It
ain't
was
expecting
crazy
to know that
too.
part.
Yeah, and unprovoked because you out here in the open. Didn't nobody
Girl.
tell you to be out in the cover of night? Why aren't you in
Mm-mm.
somebody's house? Why
And
why
he
are you
said,
out and about exposed if
"Us,
you
Ashley." He said, "Baby, this the meat packing district. Ain't nobody I know gonna be here." Like, no, just because it's that don't mean like you could have been landing a little bit low, Mister Down Low.
Mhm. It was low
Mhm.
down. I didn't feel anything when I was like, good, take him out. He was
Ugh,
terrible. And the
miserable.
idea, again, that they just had somebody ready to catch the charge. Like, oh, I can call this criminal and get it
Criminals.
set up,
Like
you
that
know?
lady said, like, oh, they just write it up. Back in the day, everybody was corrupt. This is terrible. This department needs to be investigated.
Deeply, deeply. And of course, Josh did it to save Aqua. Stagger covered it up. And again, I don't even know, as far as for Kat, why you would even still keep Aqua in your circle, because it does feel like she and Josh's relationship, Aqua and Josh's friendship, predated Kat. Because again, they lived together, they had all these bonding experiences where he was defending her, and you ready to ride for him, but not for her. You've known where he's been at this whole time, I'm sure, and haven't let her know anything. Like, no, I mean, even as a friend, you ain't even got to tell the whole thing. But could you have given her a piece, a crumb? I don't think she gave a damn about Kat at all. But ultimately, though, were you guys surprised? I'll start with you, Tyra, that Josh did it, that it was Josh all along.
Yeah, this was a genuine surprise because, like I told you, they them down low antics. I saw it and I just knew it. This was a surprise. I knew he was involved in something. I'm glad that it was something he wasn't. We knew he wasn't innocent. Like we didn't come all the way here and give you all these ominous moments. Like look at that smirk on. Why is he walking away? Why is he looking into the camera like this? For you to be just completely innocent. You clearly been hiding something. I thought it was going to be that he was a part of this ring or maybe the leader of it. It was like, no, you just killed the father. You just killed the dad. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, I was surprised. I was very surprised.
EJ?
Yeah, I was absolutely surprised. You saw where I was at with this whole thing. I thought Josh was the one that was missing. I mean, like literally missing. Like somebody got him and took him and got him, held up somewhere. But as it turns out, he's the one who did the unaliving. That was a complete and utter surprise. I thought it was a really interesting and good surprise, and it did bring like some clarity about why he left and all of this stuff. But yeah, that was an interesting twist on things to say the least. But I still think that he could have went to her and told her the truth like afterwards. I know I would have. I would have been like, baby, I just unalived your daddy. I didn't mean
I
to.
mean, wasn't to like be confused about or not understand. It wasn't like, some malicious attack. He was, manic, keeping his secret, and he was gonna kill Aqua. And it was, accidental at the end of the day, but I had to protect myself and her. I didn't think it was that deep to, take it to the grave. I was like, all right.
I
Yeah.
didn't either. I didn't think it was, because tell the truth, shame the devil. That's how you live in the freedom. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's the
And she
best
could have made her
advice.
choice, her decision. That's
But
period.
I mean,
Like,
it would have been the pinta for him. I mean, let's be honest. So I mean, he was probably thinking about the pinta, because that would have been on the list, I'm sure. Even though it was self defense, just the cover up made them all subject to other penalties, I'm sure. But all of this, to what end, girl? Because not you, the Cape Crusader for justice, now just letting it ride. Cause you feel you still finna screw this man because this love was so deep after all this come out. He ain't even tell you the truth. You gotta hear it through the grapevine. But now it's like, let's just sit up next to each other and I still love you though. Like, I don't know. The way that they left this off, yeah, the pinky so this is your man. This is
Girl.
still your man. Tyra, go
I
ahead.
don't I don't know where I was to not know that her fingers were deformed. That shocked the hell out of me at the end. I didn't know what happened. I had no clue. I guess I wasn't paying attention to her hands during all 5 episodes. When they zoomed in on her hand, I was like, what happened? I was like, did I miss something? Did they, reference this as a childhood? Like what that shocked the hell out of me. I was like, what? But because that was where my focus was at this moment. because I knew she was. What was she gonna do? Like leave it alone now? I think she was exhausted at this point, and it's just like, you know what, we still got love. We still got love. We've both been kind of in suffering due to this terrible secret and due to my father's antics, because you know she's gonna rationalize it to make it work and everything. So it's just like, yeah, we're both, you know, in pain. Why not get through this together? Nobody's walking away like last time. I'm gonna stay here with this man, my man, my man, my man. I was like, all right, and this is where we are. But the hand took me out. I did not notice her hands the entire show.
But Tyra, what about her staying with this man? And because she's like, I didn't know the hand was deformed.
Because I was like, what happened?
But what about this idea that your whole quest, this entire series,
Well,
your
she's
whole entire
been
motivation?
stupid as a detective. Like, she's been idiotic for the most part as a detective. I thought this was sound decisions for her. I didn't expect her to do anything else. I didn't expect her to be like, you know what, I have to do the rational thing and you know, turn you in. She didn't even have any expectations of him this entire time to really give her real answers, to vet him and really get into her distrust for the situation. The way she was on that lead, like his head top of the boss, like these things aren't connecting, it's not making sense. Even his little red herrings. Every time you talk to Josh, so what did he say? Did he do what he did? Like, did you, like it was all of that smoke for all these people. But once we got here, it was just like, I just want my man. I don't want to suffer anymore. Like all of this. For what? Like I'm not doing this. Like she do what? And be alone again. She was already lonely and turned out and bewildered and stuff and waiting on this man apparently for a decade. This does not change anything. It hurts because it didn't come from you, but turning who in? Not my man.
But it's so hard for me, right? Because Kat didn't have much. All she had was this motivation for justice to find out what really happened to her father. And I'm assuming, you know, get vengeance, avenge her father's whatever. And I just feel like at the end, it was just lost off hearsay, because you really ain't even researched this this information you've been given. Like, I think we know it's true, but girl, you don't. I don't know, EJ. I mean, this your people. Talk to me about the pinky punch, the staying with the loss, I guess, of her motivation. I guess she don't give a damn now. She said, "Yeah, my daddy was wrong." So it's you.
Yeah,
And me.
at the end of the day, I'm not mad at her for not wanting to turn anybody in or do any of that, because for one thing, this is going to. She loves her father when it's all said and done. We got that from the very moment that we met her, that she loved her father, and regardless of how he was, regardless of the person he was, I don't think that took the love away from her father. I feel like her turning anybody in will tarnish his reputation, and that she's going to want to still protect. I feel like she's still going to want to protect her mom. That is going to embarrass her mom. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, like, thinking from her perspective, why would I do this? It's just going to continue to mess up people's lives. I mean, it's already messed up and had this ricochet effect on everybody's life at this point. Why do I put more gasoline on it and blow it up even more? Like, I think, just thinking from her perspective, I don't think I would want to blow that up anymore. And I truly do love this individual. This was the love of my life, yada, yada, yada. Regardless if, you know, how we got here or where we're at, can I live with this man? Can I move forward with this man? Do I want to move forward with this man? No, he wasn't the one who gave me the information. He wasn't the one who told me. But at the end of the day, I feel like she made the choice that she thought was what was best for her. She went with her heart, not necessarily with what we would think as, you know, vindication for her father, because to me, her father didn't deserve vindication. He deserves to be where he at, in the ground, just there. I don't think he deserves justice.
I get
He
it,
don't
but here's
deserve
the
it.
thing. If your motivation this entire time has been to get to the bottom, I'm top cop. I want to do it right. You know, I'm gonna see it through, my boy. And you've already blown it up. Why not air it out? Air everybody out. Because at the end of the day, they was wrong for covering it up and keeping the lies too. I just feel like it's a perpetuation of the foolishness. But y'all, that's it. That's it. That's the series. That's Missing You. I think I covered the major parts. EJ, was there anything I missed that you had wanted to talk about that we didn't get to talk about? Please feel free, because this is all I could come up with.
No, I feel like you actually touched all of the major things. I don't remember there being something because oh, girl wasn't that important. That was another friend that I thought was just like every friend that she had
The
was
detective, yeah, or the
was
PI, private
interesting.
eye.
Yeah, every friend that she had was interesting to say the least. But if she gonna stay with Josh, then she might as well keep them friends around too. So I guess, except for Aqua, Aqua really do gotta go. I'm sorry.
That's Josh,
Might
right?
keep a PI friend.
He said he doesn't want to see you. I said, what the hell?
Girl. Tyra, what about you? Did I miss anything? Was there anything else you had wanted to discuss about the
Everything else was Cat's shoddy detective work. We didn't miss nothing.
But you guys, that was it. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us this whole entire time. We will be back Thursday to talk Married at First Sight. Friday, we will be back to talk Natalia Grace final chapters. Y'all, if you guys are up after this, I will be in the Discord watching Daggum part 2 of Natalia Grace, the final chapters tonight, because listen, that's all I have to say. And my upload for the first half will be up at 11:30 p.m. tonight because I did record that because we watched that first half last night and it was a mess. But before we go, EJ, tell the people what you have going on over there at the TV Junkie.
Yeah, so tonight at 8:45, I'm going to be going live to talk about the Family Business New Orleans. They dropped the trailer, so definitely got to go and talk about that and see what y'all think about that. So if you're into that show, or if you're interested in that show, then definitely come hang out with me while we talk about that. I did some uploads for the Family Business as well, did some backstories, so definitely check those out. And I still can't get my All the Queens Men video to pass YouTube inspection, so we might just cancel that one and start with the next episode. But that's about it for right now.
Tyra, what's going on over there at the Struggle is Spectacular?
Nothing at all.
You guys, she will be here on Thursday. She will be here on Friday. We'll be doing assignment live, and it's her members only watch along.
I meant like personally.
Girl.
I thought she meant personally too, Tyra.
But if you can't say that, you can say we here, y'all. We here every day. We love y'all real bad. And I'm going to leave you guys with a thank you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we will see y'all in the next video.
So pack your legs and throw your keys up. Go round, 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 round. And I'll be damned if I can't slow dance with you. Come pour some sugar on me, honey, too. It's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be a bitch, come take it to the floor now. Woo.